What if Female Deku was Cozy Glow? Part 5, the USJ. Now, Cozy Glow will be excused from the USJ due to a meeting with Foreign Affairs. So she will be leaving the country for a few hours to discuss with hero safety committees from all over in the United States. Now, she'll only be there for about a few hours before coming to make the ride back. Now, we start off as the beginning of class, as Cozy Glow is staying outside the front door of the classroom. Great, I gotta put on the act. Good thing I won't be going to the USJ. As she walks in with a smile and goes to her desk. As she sits down, just waits for class to start, Actor comes on over. As she looks over, "Why, hello, it's good to see you again." "Yes, it is," as he puts a paper down on the table. As she quickly grabs it without making sure no one noticed. As she quickly opened it, and then read the context. As then she ripped it up. "Where did you get this?" As he passed another note over. This one says, "I have my ways." "Why, tell me." As he slides another note over. As she reads this one. "We're friends, aren't we?" "Alright, thank you." As she simply nods at Actor. As he simply nods back. As, well, Mina and all them just see that Actor, using his codename, of course, they know his name, was talking to Cozy Glow, and Mina being Mina, thinking they're a couple. As Mina's talking with the other girls of UA, of Class 1A. "So don't you see that, other student with the green hood that wears all the time?" "Yeah? What about him?" "Well, why does he really only talk to Cozy Glow?" Maybe they knew each other before coming to UA. I smell like a deeper bond. Maybe like a ship? Come on, we barely even know her. In fact, she's only talked with him like once or twice. For all we know. As Cozy Glow gets up and walks over to the rest of the girls of Class 1A. "We're just long-term friends. We met each other when we were younger. So we were just discussing of how long it's been, catching up, We're just friends, you see." As they're like, "Oh, really?" Yes. "How long have you known him?" Quite a few years." Well, as Aizawa enters the classroom. "Calm down, everyone. Remember, we're going to the USJ today. All of us except Cozy Glow." As Ida stands up, "What do you mean, sir?" "You see, Cozy Glow has a meeting to attend to today." As Baku gets up, "What's so important about a meeting when it's with Foreign Affairs?" As everyone looks at her, "Yeah, I'm leaving the country for the day. Or at least for several hours. Every Hero Safety Commission has to send someone over to America for an important meeting every so often. And because my grandmother cannot go, I have to go in her stead. So I will be leaving the country, at least for the time being. I should be back tomorrow or the day after. I wish I didn't have to go, as half the time in those meetings, just discussing a lot of paperwork." And in the back of her mind, and the, obsession of whose heroes are better in the countries. That is such an annoyance. Because grandmother wants me to brag to everyone how good our heroes are, and I refuse to. As she's like, "You see, that's how it's going to be. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to have to leave as my flight is in an hour." As she simply grabs her things and just leaves the classroom. As, of course, some students had something to say. Well, you cannot blame her. It's part of her job as being part of the Hero Safety Committee. How is that possible that she has such a high role? One, being the granddaughter of the Hero Safety Commission president is one thing. Others, y'all probably understand and heard about the assassination attempt. You mean the one she almost, died from and y'all managed to save? Actually, there was another one. As all of them are surprised. In fact, we had received her stuff from her head of security, and another box had arrived saying it was a late arrival. But it was delivered by someone else. Now, I had discussed about what had arrived to her, and she said check the last item because I only have my head of security. Well, I believe her name's Clara. Come and drop it off. So we did check it, and it turned out to be a bomb. And we're glad we checked it before sending it to her room. Wait, are you saying someone's trying to assassinate her? Yeah, it seems like someone's been trying. But the culprit has been apprehended. Luckily, we discovered him the other day. Oh, that's good. So, how can she be safe traveling around now? Well, her own security will be taking her to the airport, and she's going to America where she'll be much more secure there. As actors just in the back, listening to all this. Yes, but for how long? As we go to Cozy Glow, who's just walked out of UA. Glad I'm out of that place. As we see a limo and a few security guards, and basically a police escort. Let me guess, you couldn't die it down. I honestly tried to discuss saying we need some hidden vehicles with security guards in it, but she encouraged you had a police escort. But don't worry, I know all these police officers, they're safe. Thank you, Carla. She opens the door to the limo. Now, shall we go? You have to arrive there at least by, a few hours. Yes, time zones. We have to consider that, don't we? Yes, ma'am. As she gets into, the limo. As she gets... Her bodyguard, main head of security, gets into the, driver's seat and starts driving off. So, ma'am, have you made any friends at UA? No, and it doesn't look like I'll be making any. Well, I'm the only person in the car, so you can discuss with me about any problems. Well, I would love to make some useful people at UA, but it is not going to happen. What do you mean? For one, as soon as I get back, I'm leaving. What do you have to say about it? What do you mean by that? You'll understand when the time comes. Alright, that has me a bit concerned, ma'am. I trust you, but to discuss some things in places is risky. And I can't, discuss of things right now due to that risk. Very well, I understand. What do you think they'll be discussing at the meeting? Well, for one, there's going to be a lot of talk on who has the best heroes. Again, like the last meeting wasn't enough. I honestly didn't say a word, and you know what that got me from grandmother? A big scolding saying, why didn't you just jump in on the conversation saying we had the best heroes? Because I don't care. Most of our heroes are just corrupt. So I don't care. The only person I really defended was All Might. And so did the Hero Safety Commission of Japan, which was the people I had with me, and America, surprisingly. We were the only ones that only chirped in when the mention of All Might showed up, as he's actually a true hero, and I couldn't risk his reputation going down the garbage in the Foreign Affairs Department. So, there was a lot of discussion about that. And then there was the fact of military access. For one, I'm glad grandmother sent me to that one. As she's curious, what do you mean military access? So apparently they want a training joint for all heroes in the country. So basically where you can send your top heroes to train the future generation or something like that. Unfortunately, it was turned down due to risks. What risks? As she turns to her. Risks I cannot display and are classified. Very well. And then there was the matter of finances and blah blah blah. They wanted another donation, blah blah blah. Again, I'm tired of these donation things. Most of our money's going into the heroes instead of helping out a lot of other departments. Why do you think I have to do all those jobs and sell information? In fact, I've even been selling information to the other people at meetings, and we've been hush-hush about it to make sure my grandmother doesn't get wind of it. So you've told them secrets about the Hero Safety Commission here in Japan? No. I've told them information they wanted to know on some heroes. Other than that, I wouldn't go so far and give out that information. Fair point. I can see your understanding. Ah, yes. Thank you. Now, if you don't mind, how long until we get to the airport? About 30 minutes. If you want, you can take a nap or something. Give me a minute. I may make a call. As she pulls her phone out, someone's calling her. Who could this be? As she, answers the call. Hello. Oh, it's been a while. Yes. What do you wish to discuss? I'll be at the meeting. I'll see you there. Calm down. What do you mean? Something big's happening at the meeting? What? Why is the American #1 hero showing up? Calm down. Why are you so stressed? Okay. Alright. Serious. Alright, I'll be there as soon as I can. My flight is in about 30 or so minutes. I should be there in a few hours. I'll take care of it from there, alright? Alright. She hangs up. What was that about? Every person of the Hero Safety Commission Foreign Affairs Department has someone to keep us informed of when the meetings happen. That happened to me been mine, and he called saying that the American #1 hero Stars and Stripes is showing up. I believe because the Hero Safety Commission in Japan had called her over probably to discuss something big. And I don't like that. It means a lot of trouble is going to happen while I'm there. And that's just going to cause too many problems. Alright. Shall I pick you up on when you arrive back? No. Just send the usual escort. Very well. What would you like me to do after I drop you off? 1, I want you to go to the USJ. Just for certain measures. Wouldn't it be safer for me to tag along with you? It would, but as long as I get on the plane and I'm off to Japan, out of Japan, and get to America safely, I'll be fine. And the security detail can easily take me to a safe house if anything happens when I'm back. So they have you covered. Alright, I trust you. Thank you. Also, I want you to get Actor out when the time comes of UA. Why is that? Just a hunch. A hunch? What do you mean? Just say it's a bad feeling. Very well. As they arrive at the airport, as she gets out of the car, remember to take care, and watch over, well, my grandmother and everyone else in the Air Safety Commission Department of Foreign Affairs while I'm gone. And I do not want to get back to find all my funds in disarray because my grandmother decided to mess with the funding of the Foreign Affairs once again. You're only going to be gone for at least a couple of hours, maybe a day. Still, last time I left the Foreign Affairs Department without supervision, my funds got redirected to the hero's pockets. So, please make sure that does not happen. I do not want to have to make another deal with the foreign affairs of other countries to fill up my bank account once again. Very well, I'll keep an eye on that. Good, I know I can trust you. Now listen, one more thing before I go. As her phone then just starts buzzing. More complaints, guarantee it. Well, anyway, just keep tabs, and whatever All for One's up to, it's not good. So make sure to stay safe. As she starts walking towards the plane, as she gets her phone out. Yes, yes. As she's just looking at Cozy Glow go away. Very well, ma'am. As she gets in the car and drives off. As we see Cozy Glow hopping onto the plane. She goes to her seat with the phone. Yeah, what is it now? What? What do you mean there was an assassination attempt on a foreign affairs official? Which one was it? Wait. Nah. Had to be the one from Africa. Great. I knew I should have sent my own deployment of badge of security to help him. That idiot didn't listen. What about his, well, replacement? His replacement will arrive around the same time you do. Alright. The name? Just some new person by the Hero Safety Commission in Africa. It was it's a new rookie hero they're sending to fill in his place. Oh, well, that's going to be fun. There's surely going to be a lot of argument. I am sorry for having to tell you the news. It's fine. This usually happens. All foreign affairs are usually targeted due to people not wanting us to get along. Alright, so listen to me carefully. What about everyone else? Well, they seem to be all on their way safely. Good. As in for... Now, listen to me what I have to say for when that one arrives. I want you to keep an eye on him. Since he's new, we cannot trust him. So in case he tries to steal information, I want you and your security to keep a close eye on him. All times. But ma'am, you know that's technically not allowed. I don't care. At least keep tabs on him when he's not in his area. So, nothing bad happens. Why do you insist to do this with everyone that's new? Security measures. You can't be too secure when, well, holding information. Very well. I will do as you ask. Although, please arrive. Others have arrived and they're already complaining why you're late. It's not my fault my grandmother had to put me through school. So listen. Because of that, I'll be a little bit late. You're already a bit late, ma'am. I don't care. Just tell them something came up. Make an excuse. Another assassination attempt on my life. Blah, blah, blah. Something like that. Truth be told, I had 2 in the past, month or so. Are you alright? Of course. The first one I managed to evade, only having a, injured arm. The second one I saw coming. So listen closely and just do as I asked, alright? so we can get this thing over with and all that, and I can be back to Japan in just maybe a day. These meetings are such a pain. Yeah, I understand, ma'am. I wish that your grandmother had actually come herself. You know her. She'll do anything to get out of these foreign affairs, thinking that we don't need any assistance, thinking that Japan has the greatest heroes and all that. You know her. Yeah, I know. So, just... Did you check the plane before you got on it to make sure no bombs were? Yes, I had the bomb squad and everything investigate this plane, the passengers, and drivers. Don't worry, only secure personnel on this plane. Well, without further ado, I have nothing else to tell you, ma'am. Good. One more thing. And what would that be? Can you please get me a drink for when I arrive? A soda or something? For one, they don't have any beverages on this plane. Yes, I can have that prepared for you. Thank you. It's been a stressed month. Yes, I heard about the assassination attempts and you told me them. Mm-hmm. But is there any other information you can display with me at the time? Well, the Russian Air Safety Commission representative for Foreign Affairs did hear about your assassination attempts in the past month. How did that get out of the country? And how did it reach all the way to Russia? I don't know, but she sounded quite concerned. Yes. The Foreign Affairs of the Safety Commission of Russia, where I have currently have close ties with, thanks to last year's meeting. Yes, after all, last year's meeting was technically your first time coming across country to this one. No, it was actually my second. I went a year prior as well to a different one where she didn't attend. Oh, I see. And she's constantly complained, why is someone as young as I in this line of work? And she's going to make a big fuss about someone trying to assassinate me, guarantee it. She did make that big fuss last time. She did. And I'm still dealing with the repercussions of last time of all her complaints. In fact, I still had to, fix the security detail, she scolded. It couldn't have been that bad. I'm sorry. She personally took them to a training field for a week. I came back to see them and all of them had, I don't know, phobia. Oh, was it really that bad? I don't even know what she did. Mostly because I was back in Japan. But it now has me worried of what she's going to say this time. Well, anyway, I'm sorry for dumping all of this on you. I better just get back to, just waiting for my arrival. Yes, have a nice, time. As he hangs up. Having to act a bit in front of that person, wow, can be really a pain. Why do you have to act in front of the person over the phone, ma'am? You're new. Wait. You're one of the new people that she trained, correct? Yes, I was assigned here quite recently. Noted. Well, anyway. You over there. Yeah? What can you tell me about this security guard? Well, he's new. He's been trained. For one, we checked his background and all that. No villain, no link up, no nothing. Good. Note. As she writes something on a piece of paper and hands it to him. Follow that. As the guard nods her head. As she's like, well, how long until I arrive? A few hours. Well, I'm going to take a nap. No one disturb me. And I mean no one. She glares at every security guard and personnel, well, in sight. Yes, ma'am. As she goes to sleep, as we go to the USJ, to where Carla had arrived, right outside with a few of her guards, just because she was told to arrive there. I wonder why she told me to come here in the first place. Who knows? Maybe she knew something? I know she knows something, and she's told me what that something is, but I can't do anything about it or else it would arise suspicion. And we can't have that on Cozy Glow. You really take care of her. One, she helped me a long time ago. As she looks at all of the security guards with her. So listen up, we shall not fail in our assignment. As then they hear, like, destroying explosions inside. Call for backup. Call heroes. As they go towards the door, as it's just stuck. The door's stuck. Do we have any C4, any type of explosives to get this thing open? Not really, ma'am. Move it. As she goes over to a compartment in her vehicle, grabs a thing of C4, sticks to the door. Okay, everyone prepare to clear, as they all have their pistols out, ready to barge in. As they blow a hole in the door, as they had called and informed the heroes. As they enter and see, well, Kurogiri had just teleported the students and injured 13 as they start firing at Kurogiri. Open fire! As Kurogiri, of course, teleports the bullets away and then starts to leave. As they go over to the students, and they ask, "Who are you?" "We're Hero Safety Commission officers. We were sent here by Cozy Glow because she figured something was wrong." As they sigh in relief. As she looks over at 13, she's in quite bad shape. As she checks her pulse, still breathing. "You two, get her out of here." As they immediately go to grab her and take her out. As then she takes a look at all the villains. This is going to be fun. Remember, everyone, put yours to stun. As they put their guns to stun and start, well, basically shooting at the villains and heading down the stairs to secure. Now, All Might does arrive a little bit later, and Aizawa did get injured, but not as much as because the focus fire of the Hero Safety Commission officers and Carla, who's been focusing on taking care of the Nomu and distracting it, hitting it with like tasing rounds, but it doesn't affect it. As All Might came in and did the same fight and all that, and of course the Nomu was sent flying, and the rest is canon pretty much. As we go back to Shigaraki, who had gone back to the base, as he was on the floor as his arms were bleeding because of being shot. Of course, he complained about All Might being get weaker. No, he has gotten weaker. What about those security guards that showed up? I thought you said no one else was supposed to arrive. Well, it seems like Cozy Glow of the Hero Safety Commission had at least some faith in this new generation to send in her own personal security force. Then why do you eliminate her? Simple. She's going to be assassinated real soon, when she gets back in Japan. What do you mean? I've already talked with the doctor, and several Nomu will dispatch of her on the way back. Through the mountain pass. So you didn't plan to go through with that deal? Oh, of course I did. She'll discuss with all of the Hero Safety Commission operatives, promising not to send any aid to Japan. 'Cause she always keeps her end of the bargain. And then after that, all I need to do is dispatch her to make sure that happens, and no one else knows about it. Well, at least from the Foreign Affairs Department from other countries. Keeping that a wrap for months should be easy. You'll anger the Hero Safety Commission president. So what? It's not like she can do much. In fact, the only reason we're on good terms and have stayed quiet and not done anything for so long, or I have not done anything for so long, is simply because of Cozy Glow. Why? One, you don't understand. That young girl kept things interesting. And, believe it or not, her strategic mind has been helpful, and keeping her as a trump card was a good choice of mine. Then why are you trying to get rid of her if she's a trump card, Master? Simple. She's lived her usefulness. After all, that was the only reason I spared her several years ago. As the scene ends there, as we go to, well, Cozy Glow Landing, as one of the guards, touches her shoulder into the new one. Ma'am, wake up. Ma'am, wake up. As she quickly grabs the security guard's arms and flips him over, and currently stepping on his chest. Do not touch me when I'm sleeping. Do I make myself clear? As she had unknowingly, broke the security guard's arm. As he's wincing down in pain. As she gets up and walks out. As the other older security guard goes over. I told you not to do that. No, you didn't. You didn't hear me in briefing. If you're gonna wake her up, do it from a distance. Anyone that touches her usually has their arm broken. Unless you're certain people. I thought that was just some sideless information. Well, you obviously don't know, since you're apparently not that bright. Just note, never do that again. You're most likely to die next time. Die? Yes. You see, Cozy Glow's had to take things personally on some close calls, even having to kill one or two of her captives when being kidnapped. Wait, she had been kidnapped? Yes, but she had taken two of them out, and the security detail had arrived just on time to free her. In fact, pretty sure that's probably not the only incident. That's only the incident I know. As we go to her walking down the stairs, as her person to meet her is there. Joseph, it's good to see you. As is the person she was talking with over the phone. Yes, good to see you too, ma'am. Now shall we head there immediately? As he escorts her to her car. As they start driving off. The rest of your security detail shall be following us as suit. I'm very aware of that. If I may ask, why do you, trust our security detail here in America? One, unlike, my grandmother's security detail, I only trust my own security detail, due to issues I have over in Japan. After all, you did hear, and I did tell you about those 2 assassination attempts that happened. Yes. In fact, I hear they've been increasing lately. Unfortunately, yes. Hopefully they come to a stop. Well, I hope they do. Well, they come to a stop too, ma'am. Anyway, shall we discuss more about, the other foreign affairs officers? Very well. Well, we have Sarah, the German officer from Foreign Affairs of Germany, here's safety security mission. But, again, she mostly cares about securing her borders, and we do nothing to entail. The usual for her. And then we got, We got, Jason? From, I think here in America. Then we got, Frank from France. And we got that other hero that was coming in from Africa as a replacement for Stosiv? Yes, Stosiv. He was actually a pretty nice guy. Too bad he fell to assassination attempt. You can't blame him, after all, you and him were probably the most targeted of the whole entire group of assassinations. I'm very aware. And then there's you-know-who. Yes, I guarantee I'll be meeting her in the meeting. So how has it been over here in America? Well, crime rate has dropped substantially thanks to the #1 hero, Stars and Stripe. In fact, crime rate has been notched down like so much that it's safe to go into most streets nowadays. That's good. It looks like y'all's Hero Safety Commission in this area, or this country, more precise, is doing way better than ours in, well, Japan. What's so bad about y'all's in Japan? One, for all y'all don't have to deal with the Yakuza. The Yakuza's still around? Of course. Of course, with my grandmother's taking bribes from them, which is just outrageous. You know that's pretty much illegal. Why tell me this? One, it doesn't matter, because y'all can't do anything about it. That is true. We can't discuss about that stuff in, well, the country. What about All for One? Has he been apprehended yet? No. He's still on the loose. You know, if you need assistance, we could send some heroes over. Nah, one reason I came here to discuss at this meeting was we don't need any assistance from other countries for the time being, or for the next year or two or so. Why's that? We've just resolved some problems recently. Making sure All for One won't do anything, and also securing main things in Japan, of course. So I presume crime rate has gone down. Correct. Well, it's good to hear. As they pull up to, well, the main building, where they're all gonna meet. As she enters the main, well, room-in area, as she just sits and wait, as she sits at a table, as she sees most of her other colleagues, as Sarah speaks up. Ah, you're late. Sorry, I presumed my assistant from America has already told you what happened. Yes, I heard you had, well, a close call with the assassination attempt. Yes, a very close call, unfortunately. Unfortunately, my friend in Africa didn't, well, make it. As the African hero speaks up. Yes, it's very a tragedy. What happened? I do wonder how it happened, though. Last I checked, the security detail was pretty top-notch. Unless someone, as she looks around the room, read out his information of his routes to the airport. As Sarah speaks up, are you announcing that someone here gave information to where he was going? It's only a theory. After all, it wouldn't be a bad one if I was, well, had another assassination attempt on my life towards the airport. After all, I have plenty of enemies in my own country. As Sarah just speaks up once again. Yeah? Like who? She looks around. As someone enters the room, like her own Hero Safety Committee for one. As everyone looks over. As it's a girl, and her name is Stoliv? For one, her own Hero Safety Committee doesn't trust her, and they constantly take funds from her own department when she's not there. Yes, thank you, Stoliv. And there's the fact of all the villains and hired assassins after you. Don't think I didn't hear about those assassination attempts that happened last month. Yes. What has your security detail been doing? One, it's not the fault of my security detail, it's the fault of my grandmother's security detail. That's the whole reason I nearly got killed. I see. Honestly, you know you could come over to Russia anytime. I know. You don't have to treat me like a kid. As she laughs. Well, you are one, dear. Sarah speaks up. When did you two get so close? Last I checked, you two were, well, not getting along over our discussions at last year's meeting. One, you went home early. Back to your country. Me and Stoliv were the last people here discussing with Americans about, well, the American Air Safety Commission, about foreign affairs departments, and more importantly, certain events that had been happening. Yes, we kinda just got along when that happened. Well, I'm going to have to be back at least by tomorrow. Back in my country due to events. And I can't leave my position unseated for long due to I can't trust my own people. You're preferring to the higher-ups and your grandmother? Well, I know my grandmother won't touch my stuff. That's at least one thing I know she won't do. But the others, I can't trust. It's pretty bad is when the only department we have agreed to discuss and come to these meetings is yours. Yes, because it's good to keep in contact with other countries and diplomatic relations. I know. There's a whole reason I come to these meetings. And I've been coming to it, and this is my 3rd year coming to these meetings, because my grandmother is too lazy to come. To be fair, she is the president, and there's a lot of work stacked up in being in the position. I'm sorry, Hero Safety Commission President of America. It's fine. Now listen, I've brought you here to discuss something important. Is that why Stars and Stripes is here? As she gestures to Stars and Stripes. Yes, Olive. Thank you for noticing her in the room, though. So what do you wish to discuss? I have to get back to Japan in a few hours, a day or so, before things get hectic. One, we wish for you to stay here in America as long as possible, Cozy Glow, as you've helped us, well, discuss many problems with your country. Yes. For one, I fixed that problem where the supply thing was heading to. America got cut. It took me everything I had to get that thing repaired, by the way. Apparently, Grandmother shut down the operations to the old warehouse where we were deploying stuff to America. I had to convince her, like a week worth of convincing, to open it back up. And I do appreciate you doing that, as we've gotten plenty of supplies, thanks to you. Yes. What has you such down in the dumps? As Stolf speaks up, maybe her being nearly assassinated twice in the past month. As, well, he's surprised, and Star Stripes surprised someone tried to assassinate her. Isn't she too young to even be in the position? As the Euro Safety Commission President of America speaks up, she may look young, but she got that position over long, hard work. And it's not surprising people would be jealous of someone so young filling in the position. But I feel there's something bigger happening at stake that's on your life. Isn't that right, Cozy Glow? Maybe. I saw speak up. You know you can tell me anything if something is a problem. I'll be fine. I've already discussed some things. Especially, I'm not going far when I reach the airport, back in Japan. So listen, let's discuss what we need to discuss and get this over with. I don't wish to dwell in matters in my country. Very well. Now to today's meeting. 1. To discussing the future events of the tech of Island. This again? Yes. France. We're talking about this once again. We talked about this last year. We've discussed that all this tech from Island shall not leave the place unless permitted by at least 4 foreign affairs officers from each country. Well, actually, it's more like half, as there's a lot. I'm very aware. But you have to listen. We have many problems lately. One of them being is people trying to steal Island tech. Oh, I figured this would come up. It seems like you know something, Cozy Glow. Yes, I do, unfortunately. Thanks to All Might knowing David Shield, one of the developers. I had to accompany them to Island one year because my grandmother had me just wanting to try to buy tech. Unfortunately for her, I only went there to sightsee. And what does that have to do with the information that you have? Well, I overheard a criminal group recently who's looking for high tech trying to get on Island. Unfortunately, I can't do anything since my department is so restricted. Yes, as the Hero Safety Commission in your country, being your grandmother, as it surprises Stars and Stripes. Wait, is that how she got that position? Has prevented you from doing a lot of things. Have you at least informed her about this information? I have. And this is what she said, and I quote, "That information doesn't matter. Island is not our jurisdiction." You know how annoying it is to listen to her? When it is technically our jurisdiction, or at least my jurisdiction, and she's preventing me from doing my job. Well, she is stubborn, I'll give her that. Thank you, Stoliv. I can agree, she can be very stubborn, especially after she makes up her mind. Anything else to discuss? Yes. One is the future project of all foreign affairs, which is going to be the training joint for all top heroes. You're still talking about that? I thought we shut that thing down last year. Yes, Sarah. We are still discussing about that. Listen, I have to agree with her, the African Hero Safety Commission hero that was sent. For one, we cannot secure the safety of all heroes within that area, and we have not discussed a proper safety place for it. And if someone, was too greedy, they could sell information. We can't simply not trust it. As Cozy Glow, as you know, I also didn't like the idea. For one, it would benefit me greatly, don't put me wrong, for agreeing with it. It's that I just don't trust any of my heroes that would be put in it. Except probably their number 1. With the information I'd be getting from it. And why is that? For one, Endeavor's nothing but a large burning jerk who doesn't care about anything but his self and reputation. Then Hawks is just a corporate slave working for my grandmother. Maybe Best Jeanist, Mirako, and Ririko. I believe that's the Dragon Hero's name. But those ones would probably do well, as they can agree to those terms. Gang Orca is one that has my respect. He could definitely do well in the department. But with so many heroes cannot trust, I would have to turn down this offer again. I understand that you have been against this, Cozy Glow, but at least consider it, as we need something to unite all of our heroes in case of a dying time. You mean a dear time of like a villain group that's like a world threat? Yes. For one, I'm very concerned about that All for One is still roaming around in your country. Again, my grandmother's doing everything in her power to deal with it. If you need help, you could just ask. Unfortunately, I cannot, and she's insisted none of y'all interfere. That's a half-truth. So listen very closely. I do not want y'all to come to the country. Even sending any of your foreign affairs or official from a country to our country would be not so good. As the hero from Africa speaks up, is it kind of like our country right now, where we're having some internal affairs? I'm probably gonna get scolded for this, but yes, we're having some internal affairs problems. And as much as I want to, ignore it, it is against my policy, too. And also, the more threatening attempts on my life has been increasing, so that's happened. As Stolov speaks up, I insist you come over to Russia for a while. You can be safe there, and we can make an excuse for back to your home that we had something important to discuss over in Russia. As much as I would love to accept your offer, I need to be back by tomorrow. There are certain events and all that are happening. For one, the USJ happens today, which I could not make it. And the sports festival is in about a week. A few weeks or a week or two, I don't know. Which will have to attend, unfortunately, because my grandmother wants to show the pride of the Hero Safety Commission by having her own family member show up to the events, and wants me to participate. Which can be a good thing and can be a bad thing. But unfortunately, I don't want to do it, but I have to. So I have to turn down your offer. Thank you, Stolov. Well, I guess that's all for the meeting for the time being. As Starstripe just coughs, you forgot about that one thing. Oh yeah, that's right. We meant to discuss something that we found recently, as this has the intrigue of everyone else in the room from other foreign affairs, including Cozy Glow. And what would that be? We found some, interesting research we wish to discuss that may help with certain events. We're working on prosthetic limbs for heroes and all that, to where they can still use their quarks. Prosthetic limbs. That could be helpful in case of a few heroes in my country. That would also be helpful in Africa. No complaints from Germany. Stolov? Unfortunately, I have no complaints either. But I would like to do some research in it just in case. Very well. Cozy Glow? It's fine by me. I could actually use a couple of those in my country for retired heroes because of limbs lost in battle. So the research of that project continues. Was that the main reason you had Star Strike come here? No. The main reason was in case you needed assistance in your country. Again, we don't need assistance. All for One's going to be taken care of real soon by All Might. I can assure you we do not need any assistance. Very well. But if you ever need it, you remember, we're just a call away. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you very much. Anyway, without further ado, I'm announce this meeting adjourned. As he gets up and walks out with Stars and Stripes, Estolov walks over to Cozy Glow. Listen, I know you're having a tough time over in Japan. If you need to talk to someone, you can always talk to me. Why do you keep acting like my mother? One, you are still just a child. And you're in your 30s. Listen, I'm just concerned. As someone as young as you should not be in such a risky position. As Sarah intervenes. Yes, I have to agree with her. As much as we don't get along with our own countries, and we are just keeping a truce with each other, I do agree that your life is at risk, and for your young age, you shouldn't hold such a high position. It's either that or watch our foreign affairs crumble to nothing. Because the people that grandmother wanted to put in charge of it would have had it collapse by now. I guess you're right about that, but still. The assassination attempts on your life is being too risky. I appreciate y'all's concern. But listen, I've been aware of these assassination attempts since I was very young. I've always been a target due to my mother being the daughter of the Hero Safety Commission president, you see. So, I've always been a target. Still, you're more safer in these countries than you are in your own. So, if you ever need assistance, feel free to call. I would gladly send my own security detail to pick you up. And you'd probably send one of your Russian heroes or two as well. Of course, if needed. I do appreciate y'all's concern, but I can assure you everything is going to be fine. Very well, as you say. As Stolov leaves. I thought she was never going to leave, to be honest. The African hero that replaced, well, my friend from Africa. Yes. Listen, I wanted to discuss something about we could possibly do for future events of our countries. I guess this meeting is not over. Great. As she rolls her eyes, as Sarah pats her on the back. Hey, listen. Maybe you can get along. After all, you were pretty good friends with the African Hero Safety Commission person. Yes, as we were in similar boats. Of our situations, of course. That is very true. So what do you wish to discuss? Well, I prefer to do this in private. What, do you prefer to Germany to stay out of things? Very well, I guess you could sit in this. So what do you want to discuss with me? One, we've been in a bit of a, bind lately due to tightening of certain groups within our country. Yes, I'm very aware of these groups, but I cannot do anything about it. And don't think about asking aid from Japan. Because even if I managed to pull off a miracle like that, it would hurt my foreign affairs department way too much. Guarantee I won't be able to make it to the next, meeting like this. What do you mean? Yes, I do want to know what you mean. You know the assassination attempts, right? Of course. I've only heard of them recently, but yes. If I sent you those... If you were thinking of having me send those heroes or support or anything like that, it would be coming from my department, which would lower my security. And right now I have to have my security at tight right now because of these assassinations, and they're going to continue, guarantee it. Most likely, which is a pain, but there's nothing I can do about it. Well, I guess there's always, maybe hiring one of the top 10 to be your personal bodyguards. That could work. They're too busy with all the crime rate in our country. Well, I guess that is a problem. So please tell me what you want to discuss. Well, I want to discuss if we could have trade relations. Supplies. I guess we could do that, although I was already in the process of discussing with the previous one about that. Well, if I can manage to somehow convince my grandmother when I get back, I will see. I'll give you a call. I'll call your Hero Safety Commission department as soon as I get the results from my grandmother. I'll see what I can do. Strengthening foreign affairs right now is the only thing keeping my country, well, secure. It doesn't sound like it's secure. You're denying help. It's not me. I have to deny the help because of my grandmother. Which, true, she doesn't like getting help from the other safety committee presidents around in other countries, thinking it would show weakness. Well, anyway. She looks at the time. Oh, wow, it's been that time? Great, by the time I get back, it's gonna be nightfall. What do you mean? I already called ahead of time to prepare a plane. I'll just sleep on the way there. You seem to be overworking yourself, Cozy Glow. I have to agree with him. You are overworking yourself by the sounds of it. Can you blame me? My grandmother has been banning me and putting restrictions on me and my department since the last meeting I had. Which has caused so many problems, which I wish I could fix. But I cannot, due to her preventing me. As much as I would love to spend time in y'all's countries and sightsee, I don't have the time either. Well, if you don't mind, I must be off. Very well. Until we, give that call to me to discuss about the trade. Of course, expect a call from me, about next month. Maybe a week. Very well. As Cozy Glow leaves the area. As Stoliv enters back in the room. Sarah speaks up. Sarah. So why are you still here? I thought you left. Were you, well, eavesdropping? Maybe a little. After all, I'm a bit worried about her. I guess you can't say so. It seems like her department in particular is being is having the most rough time in their country. I don't blame her, as things have been tough in some of our countries as well. But hers has really hit the rock bottom, as people would say. Yes, because her grandmother is the only person supplying the cash to the department. And that's pretty much it. That is not true. Also, Cozy Glow's own money is also going into the department's running. Mostly hers, to be more precise, not her grandmother's. And how do you know this? Just some research from some friends in Japan. No, don't tell me you had sent some people over to Japan to keep an eye on Cozy Glow. Maybe. Why do you act like a protective mother around her? Listen, I'm just looking out for her safety. As someone at her age is really at risk of assassination attempt. And I just want to help prevent those as possible. As she doesn't need to die at such a young age. I know you're concerned, but you have to realize she's been surviving these since she was, what, 6, 7 years old? As this surprised the African hero and Stolv? Yes. Wait, since she was that little? Yes, you didn't know? In fact, how do you know this? I may or may not have heard a conversation when she was in the hallway with her grandmother about some things. So you're saying her life's been at risk since she was at the age of 7? Pretty much. Even more worry. I should send my own escort to make sure she gets back to Japan safely. She's already probably long gone and is already probably heading towards the airport by now. By the time your escort gets there, she's going to be gone. Very well. And trust her escort, after all. They've been keeping her safe for the past several years. She trusts her escort. Very well. I guess you're right. No, better not be worrying about current problems. Yes. Anyway, shall we discuss other matters? I guess so. As we go to Cozy Glow, who's currently getting on her plane, she looks at the guard that, well, is sitting in the back that has basically the arm in a cast. It seems like you had your arm treated while I was away. As he simply just nods. I'm guessing he was a little bit too arrogant and forgot the rules I had established at a meeting with new recruits. Yes, I did warn him. By warning him, did you mean have him watch those videos? Yes, ma'am. Well, there's nothing you can do about it now. Let's just get back to Japan. As we do a little bit of a time skip to when she arrives back. As she's getting off the plane and all that. Alright. Is the car ready? As they open the car door for her. As she gets in. Alright. Take us straight back to the Hero Safety Commission, the building. All that. We'll have to cut through the mountain pass to save time, as you're still late for some important meetings in the Foreign Affairs Department. Let me guess, Grandmother has stirred up some chaos. Yes, your head bodyguard's been dealing with it. Well, at least she's doing something about it. As they're driving on the, roadside, on the side of a cliff, as then one of the cars in front gets flipped as it starts to hit the road, as her car swerves and heads to the side. What was that? As the car behind them starts to deploy their own security, as they're approaching the main vehicle. As Kozugo gets out, Ma'am, stay in the car. No, they're obviously here after me. Being in the car, as then a huge boulder starts heading straight to the car. As she quickly flies out and flies above as the car that she was in goes flying off the edge of the cliff. Are you alright, ma'am? As she's flying in the air. As then she sees something coming at her, she quickly just, wraps her wings around and just falls as a laser goes right by her. Assassins! As they start all huddling around, Cozy Glow. And they are hiding behind the cars and all that, with their guns out. Where are they? Call for backup. Tell them there's an assassination attempt on Cozy Glow's life. Report this now. As one of them is trying to call. Shh. As Cozy Glow looks over. Let me guess, the comms have been cut. As he simply nods. Great. I knew he wouldn't just let me go. As some of the guards are, skeptical about what she just said. What do you mean, ma'am? Simple. Someone's been planning this from the start. They knew I would be most vulnerable on my way back. As then, a bunch of Nomu start coming out from the tree line, as the security guards keep opening fire. Ma'am, we need to get you out here now. As they have her in one of the back vehicles, as they start driving off. As there's only one other vehicle in the tail while the other security guards are trying to deal with the Nomus. How long till we get to the city? Well, we obviously can't go through that path. There's a dirt road should be up ahead. We can turn on to take the shortcut. That is the only option. Of course, the car ahead of us will. As they turn onto the road, immediately a big Nomu just smashes into the car in front of them. As Kozuko quickly goes into the front seat and swerves around the Nomu. Just keep driving. As they start quickly driving, as the car's bumping because they're on a dirt road. As she noticed the two men in the car having their guns out. Listen, keep an eye out. They could be anywhere. As she's constantly looking around the room. Or around the car. Where are they? As then a laser comes shooting towards the car. As she simply just leans back as it cuts straight in the middle. She also had pulled the two security guards that were leaning front through the windows back so they wouldn't get cut by the laser. As the front car just goes swerving off as the back car simply just slows down a bit. As they unbuckle themselves. Ma'am, we need to get you to a safe location. We should wait here till backup arrives. Listen, you two. As they look over towards the front of the car where it's crashed, one of the guards just got out as he gets shot by a laser. Get down! As she grabs two security guards and gets down to the ground. They've obviously got some sort of sniper. We need to call for backup. Listen, there should be a fire from that attack. They should at least suspect something. As we're hearing footsteps. We're not getting out of this so easily. For my survival, I may just have to try to fly out of here. Go, ma'am. We'll try to cover. Get out of here. As they start shooting at the Nomus approaching. As she opens her wings and starts flying away. Great. I figured this would happen. As the laser just shoots right by her. As she's just trying to fly as fast as she can. As then she sees 3 flying Nomu ahead of her. As she slows down. Great. As she turns back and sees the guards had already been dealt with. As she's constantly dodging the lasers and trying to evade the Nomu. As she then gets hit, saying her flying down a tree. They're not gonna stop, are they? As she starts moving through the forest. As the laser Nomu then shoots again. As she opens her wings. As the blast is absorbed into her wings and fires straight back at the location of that laser Nomu, killing it in the head. Guarantee he didn't know about that little trick. As she continues starting to go through the forest, trying to evade the Nomus. As, well, the flying Nomu had caught up with her. As she just looks at them. As they start approaching her. Didn't want to have to use this. As she just simply grabs a gun out of her pocket and just simply shoots some darts out of it, hitting the Nomus. As she just simply just starts then running. As then the Nomus just simply chase after her. As she simply just, well, jumps off a cliff. As the Nomus then just suddenly, as soon as they tried to fly, just exploded. As she got caught, the back of the explosion caught her in the back, sending her flying forward and causing her to roll down the cliff. She's seeing several rocks, debris, and, well, a tree or two. As she's at the bottom of the cliff. As her wings broken. As well as one of her arms. Oh, great. As she looks up, that should at least fool him. Now, I better tie these wounds up. As she then just passes out due to blood loss. And that is the end of Part 5. What if Female Deku was Cozy Glow? Part 5, the USJ, and, well, the Foreign Affairs meeting. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe for more.